So who makes the best rotary Dremel tool? I went ahead and bought 14 of them here. So I recorded the weight of each of these and tried to keep it fair with 2 amp hour batteries. Now yes, the Proxxon and the Snap-on have different amp hour batteries. Now for dB, same thing like normal. I set the tool approximately 2 inches away from the reader here and captured max dB. Along with that vibration data, where exactly your palm would be sitting on the tool. And dimensions wise, took the overall length, so the width right here, and circumference roughly where you would hold the tool. Even though the Milwaukee looks to be much wider than the 8260, the circumference is almost identical here, which is interesting. With the new brushless 2525 being quite a bit wider than the brushed 2460. So I went ahead here and dyno'ed each. I wasn't able to use my load cell with RPM here to capture the watts. In this scenario, we're just gonna have to go off of the load here on this motor. And applying that load using the DC load cell, which I normally use to test batteries. Seeing that we don't have my normal setup, we're gonna be capturing the RPM here with this laser tachometer. And I did 3 pulls per battery. So the Hyper Tough, what's that look like? Seeing there's 3 battery options currently. So a little bit of a gain going from that 1.5 that comes in the kit, but really not much going from the 2 to the 4 amp hour. The Bosch, a little bit different story. About the same between the 2 and the 3, but we jump up a good amount going to that 6 amp hour battery. 8240, which can run the 2 amp hour and the 3 amp hour, pretty much the same. 8250 and 8260, yeah, pretty much the same tool, just the 8260 has the lifetime warranty and the Bluetooth feature. Power-wise, yeah, roughly the same no matter if you use the 2 or the 3 amp hour. So the brushed Milwaukee, definitely some gradual increases here as you go up in amp hours. One thing to note, like we've seen in the past, the high output batteries do provide more of a kick than the standard and XC batteries. And the new brushless Milwaukee, impressive numbers, definitely when you add the high output batteries. So max watts compared overall, again, I didn't show you the individual ones here where they just had one battery or the built-in battery, but they are shown on this table. And the 3 8-volt units, right around the same watts, pretty much the same tools. Warrior coming in below that, followed by Hyper Tough, then Ryobi, Proxxon, older Dremel, the 8220, then the 8240, which basically the same tool, just updated. The brushed 2460 Milwaukee, barely getting beat by the 8260 Dremel, followed by the Bosch with the 6 amp hour, the Snap-on, which is then getting beat by the new brushless Milwaukee, producing 290 watts. 100 more watts than the brushed version, which is absolutely insane here. But another thing we need to think about is torque. So I don't have, again, a force meter on here, so we have to do a little backwards calculation. Basically, we're comparing watts to RPM, and here at 20,000, the Milwaukee brushless is winning. You'll note is the Milwaukee 2460 is not present here, and that's because the cutoff is actually 26,000 RPM. So that tool is providing the most watts at 26,000. When we drop on down to 15,000 RPM, again, the Milwaukee is winning this, followed by the Snap-on, and then the 8260. So it's continually holding that power. I did the 1/2-inch rebar cut test. Yeah, you shouldn't use to cut rebar, but it's a good way to lower them down. And the average for the Milwaukee 2525 came in at 22 seconds, followed by the Snap-on. And then the brushed Milwaukee 2460 running that 5 amp hour high output. So the Hyper Tough, nothing fancy here. $35 for this small little kit. Comes with a 1.5 amp hour battery. You do have a barrel charger. You have that thread on the end. Shaft lock, your RPM setting here. Your on-off switch is actually on the bottom. Power it up, you have that battery indicator. Warrior here, kind of same deal. Again, you have that thread on the front. You have that shaft lock. You have your power button here in the center. You have the speed adjustment. Comes with the 1.3 amp hour battery, slow barrel charger, and a small assortment. Apex Forge, thread on the front, shaft lock, your on-off right there, those levels of RPM, and your battery indicator. Comes with this nice soft case, another barrel charger. Now, one thing to note, the battery is built in. Small assortment, grinding shield. Power, exactly the same thing, only difference is hanging hook on the back. Instead of a barrel charger, it has a micro USB. Same style case, charger, kit, and grinding shield. So just like the Bauer, a little bit different on the back. We have the internal hanging hook and a USB-C port with a hard plastic case. A lot larger assortment of accessories here with a kit of cutoff wheels, USB to USB-C cable, the whole adapter, and the grinding shield. Ryobi, we have that thread adapter, we have the shaft lock, speed adjustment 1 to 5, your on-off switch, your charge indicator, your charging port, which is USB-C. So of course this has a built-in battery, hanging hook, comes with a hard case, USB-A to USB-C charging cable, small assortment of accessories, the quick change chuck. I don't really care for this. I'll leave the video below to where I also tested this tool with this chuck. Depth gauge pointer 45, 8240. So again, thread on. This does have the option inside of it here where you can use this actually as a tool instead of using a wrench to tighten. Your on off, your RPM adjustment from 5 all the way up to 35. Battery indicator, removable battery, hanging hook. But yeah, one drawback, you can't actually use the 6 amp hour Bosch battery. It will perfectly fit fine. You go to power on, and she just flashes. Comes in a soft case, small assortment, charger, 2 amp hour battery. Brushed Milwaukee, thread on, shaft lock, adjustment wheel ranging from 1 all the way up to 6. Battery indicator, on off switch. Now I did buy this tool only, but typically you'd be looking at a standard M12 charger and a 2 and 4 amp hour battery in a kit. 8220, now of course the 8240 replaces this, so we won't spend much time on this, but pretty much the same deal on the end here. Your lock, you're on. This does have a slider ranging from 5 all the way up to 30. Battery indicator, hanging hook right there. Removable battery, uses that old style Bosch. Would typically come in a kit with a charger, a hard case there. The 8260, similar to the 8240. Difference being here, your battery indication and your adjustment from 5 all the way up to 30 is done by this scroll wheel. Now the 8260, you can use the app to adjust the speed. I did run through the app in a previous video, so you can take a look at that. But to me, kind of a gimmick. The biggest thing is you get the lifetime warranty if you buy the 8260 over the 8250. But same deal, soft case, charger, small assortment. You are gaining a 3 amp hour battery over that 2 amp hour battery though. And just like the 8240, you can't use the Bosch 6 amp hour. Actually, in this case, you can see it won't even fit because of this tail. Milwaukee 2525 brushless here. Yeah, overall, it's the winner from performance. Don't really care for this width. On the front, similar to Dremel here, you have the ability to use this cover as an actual wrench. And unlike the Dremel, I do like this quick twist lock. Whereas on the Dremel, you got to screw it all the way off. Here, it's got a quick twist lock. You're done, ready to go. And behind all that, you do have those threads for attachments. LED light, your on off, your battery indication. You actually have 12 steps here, even though it shows 6. So when you push it once again, see it flashes. Now you're on to the second step, third, fourth, fifth, and so on. Just like the brush version, this would come in a kit with a charger. I bought it as tool only. The Bosch, a little bit different than the Dremel. You don't have that wrench built in here to this cover. But you do, of course, have those threads, an LED light, shaft lock, on, off, and a scroll wheel labeled from 1 all the way up to 6. With the battery indication below that. Now, I did buy this tool only, which came with this small kit, and actually including a different style screw-on cover for the front. But definitely more performance running that 6 amp hour battery. I really didn't care for how hard it is to get in here to kind of adjust this scroll wheel with this bump out. Proxxon, brushed, but seems to be high quality. Different story here on the front. Their proprietary screw-on adapter. Some will argue differently. I think that's a major drawback for Proxxon here. Yes, you can get the majority of the different types of accessories through Proxxon, but Dremel is the standard. Shaft lock, speed adjustment from 0 to 23, and your battery. Nice hard case. Actually has rubber feet. Of course, comes with a charger, small grinding assortment, different size collets. Snap-on, a little bit different story. Of course, we don't have the standard collet setup. This is not threaded here on the end. You have your on-off switch and a 1, 2, 7 scroll wheel. Your battery and overload LED here on the side. With the current kit setup coming with 2 wrenches, 2 of these batteries, and a charger. So considering all that data and the price, I would first stay away from the 8220. It's obsolete. You can find the 8240 cheaper, and the 8240 uses the Bosch batteries. Ryobi, don't care that it has a built-in battery, decent assortment, but I think the Dremel is still a better option. So the 2 Amazon and the Harbor Freight here, yeah, you can get them on sale. I guess it really depends at that point. They are a decent option if you're looking to do small stuff. Definitely not grinding with big discs. I'd probably stay away from the Apex Forge. Probably go with the DC08 here, considering it has USB-C. Hypertough, really not bad considering the price for $35. Same thing with the Warrior here, but to me, I'd go with the Hypertough. Bosch, definitely an option to consider, but it's hard to get your hands on this in the US. Sadly, they haven't officially brought it in. Now you can get it for around $200 and some dollars. But in that case, you might as well just buy the Dremel 8260. Snap-on, pretty good performance. Yes, you can argue it is a bigger tool, and yeah, I agree. But what really kills this, in my opinion, is that price tag. With a tool only of $290 and then a kit price of $560, price tag really kills it. Proxxon, similar story. You're looking at $250 for the kit. Yes, it's a precision tool, but we also have to consider it's still a brush tool. And not being able to use the standard Dremel adapters. The brush Milwaukee, pretty good option if you can find it on sale, but yeah, it's being discontinued here. So coming in third with the 8240. Yes, it is brushed, but at kit-wise, roughly $100. Definitely something to consider. I don't think you can beat that. 8260 brushless, lifetime warranty at $170. And the winner, in my opinion here, is the brushless Milwaukee, coming in kit-wise at $200. Again, major upgrades from the brush version power-wise. You know, other than the width here, really wish they could have slimmed this up. I don't think they really needed to come out and, well, outperform the Dremel there by 100 watts. Definitely a well-needed upgrade over the brushed version. Now you might want to pause this here. Here's an overall table I did put together with cost for just the tool, cost with the kit, that max watts, the model number, where it's made. One thing to point out is the Dremels being made in Mexico, the Ryobi being made in Vietnam there, and the Proxxon being made in the EU. Warranty, if it has an LED light on it, the claimed RPM, and that tested RPM. So there you have it. There's my picks. Hopefully you found this video useful. I'll leave the links below to the previous videos and to these products. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.